My name is Susannah Lloyd and welcome to the Bradford Literature Festival. I'm the author of picture books, including The Terribly Friendly Fox, illustrated by Ellie Snowden, about a fox who turns up at a woodland creature's ball and may or may not eat some of the guests. This book can read your mind, illustrated by Jacob Grant, which is the world's first and only mind-reading book. But today I've come to talk to you about Here Be Dragons by me and Paddy Donnelly. And we think you're going to love this book if you like your knights hapless, your damsels bold and valiant, and your dragons very, very fiery. And I'd like to read you some of this today. Here Be Dragons by me, Susannah Lloyd, and Paddy Donnelly. You'll never guess what the other knights said. There's no such thing as a dragon. I said, forsooth, there is such a thing, and I'm going to find one and battle it. So there, huzzah! You only have to know where to look, and I do know where. I have a map, and it says, Here be dragons. Verily, you will not find one, the other knight said. They never believe me. Well, what do they know? Right, things to look out for. Treasure, it says here. Dragons like to hoard treasure. Shiny, sparkly treasure. Shouldn't be too hard to spot. Oh, there is not a single bit of treasure in all these dashed woods. Ah, well, what's next? Ah, yes, failing that, you can usually tell if a dragon's nearby from the burnt remains of its dinner. By my liege, I wonder what they eat. Not that I'll be able to see it. With all this mess around here, someone should really clear up once in a while. Perchance will be a dragon in this burrow, even just a little one. Hello, dragons! Egads! I'm starting to wonder if I'll ever find one. Oh, hello there. Perhaps you can help me. It says in my map, a sure sign of a dragon is a damsel in distress. Usually a high-born lady, perhaps a princess, pointy hat and whatnot, almost always tied to something so she can't escape. I don't suppose you've seen anything like that. No? How about dragons? Seen any dragons? I'm sorry, my dear. I really can't understand what you're saying. Verily, if you want to tell me something, then you should really take that silly handkerchief out of your mouth. But look yonder, a cave. Dragons love caves. Now, there's no need to panic, my dear. I know that caves can be rather alarming, but I am a brave and fearless knight, and I'm going to find myself a dragon right now. Oh, 'tis a bit dark in here, methinks. Cannot see a thing. Ouch, that hurt. Dashed pointy thing got me right on the bottom. Who is't mucking about with arrows out there? I bet it was that foolish maiden. Someone could get hurt, verily. Is it just me? Or is it getting hot in here? Quite toasty. Prithee now, which way's out? Ah, this way. Tum-ti-tum. Whoa there! Bit steep, eh, what? No wonder I couldn't see it where I was going. It's all this blasted smoke. Shouldst be a rule against starting fires down there. Just look at my map. 'Tis ruined. And not one dragon. Egads! Maybe the other knights were right. Maybe there really is no such thing as a dragon. I might just tell them I saw a dragon anyway. They'll never need to know. Prithee, has anyone seen my dashed horse? And that is the end of that story. So now I'm going to give you a top tip for writing and a creative challenge. Now, I got my first idea for this story by seeing a map. It was an old medieval map of a place called Iceland. And I looked at this map and I thought, that looks strangely like the shape of a massive dragon. And that made me think, I wonder what it would be like to be exploring a dragon so big you didn't even know you were on it. And that's how I first got the idea for Here Be Dragons. But before I could start writing it, I needed something else. I needed some characters for my story. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about what helps me to make those characters. So, my top tip for you is be playful. Now, if you've ever gone into the playground and pretended to be someone who isn't you, and then pretended that some stuff happens to that someone, then you are already a storyteller. And writing is a bit like playing like that. You just have to pretend to be someone else and imagine what might happen to them. And so for my character, I was quite playful. I didn't worry about getting it right first time. Just like when you're playing, you don't worry about whether you're getting it right. You think, well, how about this happens? Or, oh, scrap that, maybe this happens next. Or how about this? It's a bit like that with writing. I started off by imagining a child exploring a dragon, and the child would say, oh, my brother says there's no such thing as a dragon, but I'll show him. And then I thought, no, hang on, I could make that better. It ought to be a knight because it's a quest. And I changed that because I added in all sorts of medieval words that made me laugh, like verily and forsooth and perchance. But I kept in the childishness of the character, and I really liked that. So play about. Don't try and write anything down straight away. Have a go at imagining all sorts of options and pick the one that makes you laugh the most. And then I also mean by being playful that it's a bit like acting things out. You can act things out in your head, or you can even act things out with your friends. You can pretend to be that person out loud and try things out before you start to write things down. And my challenge for you is, this story is told from the point of view of the knight, and he doesn't even know he's walking across the back of a dragon. But there's lots of other characters in this story. There's the horse, the poor terrified horse. There's the damsel, who is bold and valiant. And there's the dragon, who's pretty delighted that someone's just decided to stroll into his tummy for his snack. I wonder if you could tell the story from one of their points of view. So maybe you might pick the horse or the dragon or the damsel. But be playful, have a go, think about all sorts of ideas, try them out with your friends, try acting it out loud, and then you're ready to write it down.
Hi everyone, I'm Paddy Donnelly and welcome to Bradford Literature Festival. I am the illustrator of Here Be Dragons. It's a book by myself and Susannah Lloyd, and it's about a knight who goes on a quest to find a dragon, but the mountain that he's climbing on doesn't seem so much like a mountain. And he's not very observant, but I'm sure all of you keen readers will spot all of the clues I left in the illustrations. So it's a really fun book and I loved working on it. And I've been sent some questions to answer about my life as an illustrator. First question, what do you enjoy most about being an illustrator? I think my most favorite thing to do in a book, and especially in a book like this, was that I got to tell my own story with the illustrations. So while Susannah's words tell the story from the knight's point of view, and he's looking for dragons, and he's saying, you know, watch out for treasure and things like that. I can tell you another story in the illustrations, and that he's missing everything, and he's not really seeing all of the clues to find the dragon. And I can also slip in lots of little fun stuff like this little bunny rabbit being propelled into outer space. So yeah, I think that's my favorite part about illustrating, is I get to tell a completely different story, or leave lots of little clues in there that only the reader will spot. And the second question is, did you enjoy reading illustrated books as a child, and who were your favorite illustrators and why? I actually have one of my books from when I was a kid, which was one of my favorites. This is a book by Alistair Graham, and it's called Full Moon Soup. And this actually has a big influence on the type of illustrating I like to do. So this is based in a hotel, and each spread is the same location, but you can see lots of little different storylines happening. There's all sorts of crazy things and aliens and ghosts and all sorts of stuff happening, and each time you turn the page you see a little bit more of the story progressing, but there's no actual words in the book. And I loved wordless picture books like this, and getting to just pour through all the details and the illustrations. And that's what I really like to do now as an illustrator. I get to leave lots of little clues in my illustrations, and there are lots of clues in Here Be Dragons for you to find. And the last question is, what is your favorite thing to draw and why? I think definitely I much prefer drawing animals to people, and in particular I really like drawing extinct animals. So dinosaurs and mammoths and dodos and saber-toothed tigers, all animals that you don't see anymore. I get to try and put them into my book. So that's those are some of my favorite things to illustrate. And yeah, dragons are also pretty fun. So yeah, that's Here Be Dragons, and I'm Paddy Donnelly, and thanks for watching. I'm also going to show you a little draw along of how to draw the knight if you wanted to grab some pencil and paper and draw along with me. So here's my guide to drawing the knight from Here Be Dragons, and he's pretty simple. I usually start with the head when I'm drawing my characters, and he's got quite a fun rectangle head. It's quite tall like that. And in the middle of his head you can put his nose, which is like a long carrot shape. And his little ear is on the same level as his nose. Then his eyes are usually closed, as you can see in the story. They're like little U's, because he's usually got his eyes closed and he's not noticing any dragons. And his mouth is usually open, so you can draw that way a little number 6, like that. And his hair comes down on one side, like so, and down on the other side. And then the most fun part of all is getting to draw his moustache, which comes down. There's a really droopy, swoopy moustache, which comes down on both sides and curls up at the end, just like that. And then he's got a tiny little neck, but really big armor, way too big for him. So you can draw his shoulder pads, like big half circles there. And his body armor is about the same size as his head, same size and shape. And then you can draw the other shoulder on the other side. And then he's got some metal underwear and long skinny legs, which come down like this. Top part of the legs, a little diamond shape for the kneecaps, and then the rest of the leg comes down, get even skinnier, and then his legs, or his feet, on his feet are these long droopy metal shoes with some little lines on them. And then his arms come out to the side, and he's got knobbly little elbows, and they come down, and they're usually on his hip, because he's usually telling you all about how much he knows about dragons. And if you've read the story, you'll know that he doesn't really know that much about dragons. Or he maybe knows a lot, but he doesn't know how to spot them. And there you have it. And you can rub out your little lines if you're doing it in pencil, and then you can go over it in pen to make all of the details perfect. And then if you really want to add some more details, you can make his armor a little bit scratched up from all of the dragons he's been trying to find. And then maybe you want to hint at some dragons, so I would draw some smoke in the background, just like that, some clouds. And you can make it that he's standing on some grass, but maybe it's not some grass he's standing on, maybe it's the top of a dragon's head. So he would really need to open those eyes and take a look. And that's how you draw the knight from Here Be Dragons.